Good morning, and we're on chapter 27 of Mosiah, and Alma had organized the church, and now it came to pass that the persecutions which were inflicted upon the church by the unbelievers became so great that the church began to murmur and complain to their leaders concerning the matter. And they did complain to Alma, and Alma laid the case before the king, and King Mosiah consulted with his priests. So Mosiah does have priests, but Alma is over the church, so it's interesting how that works. But and it came to pass that King Mosiah sent a proclamation throughout the land round about that there should not be any unbeliever persecute any of those that belong to the church of God. And there was a strict command throughout all the churches that there should be no persecutions among them, that there should be no that there should be an equality among all men. I love the fact that it's saying that there should be this, no matter whether they're in or out of the church, that there should be an equality among all men, and that they should let no pride nor haughtiness disturb their peace, that every man should esteem his neighbor as himself, laboring with their own hands for their support. I find it interesting here, this right here, the strict command to no persecutions, and that there should be equality. In a time now that they are screaming for equality and all this other stuff, this was first of all a people, over 2,000 years ago, and also when the Book of Mormon came out, almost 200 years ago, and this was one of the messages of equality. And so it just seems kind of interesting that we've got it all right here, and it's always been here, and people are thinking that it's a new thing, that they're the first generation to ever want equality. I think we just need to look at the past and see what happened and why there is inequality, rather than the equality that people who live the gospel try to achieve. And they should let no pride nor haughtiness disturb their peace, and that every man should esteem their neighbor as himself, laboring with their own hands for their support. Yea, all their priests and teachers should labor with their own hands for their support, in all cases save it were in sickness or in much want. And in doing these things they did abound in the grace of God. And there began to be much peace again in the land, and the people began to be very numerous, and began to scatter abroad upon the face of the earth, on the north and the south and the east and the west, and building large buildings and villages in all quarters of the land. So they're just prospering really well. And the Lord did visit them and prosper them, and they became a large and wealthy people. So again, when things are established, yes, there's still people who don't believe, but because of the how the church is prospering, everyone is prospering, and it doesn't mean that the unbelievers were terrible, but some of them are, because we'll find out here how terrible they can be, I guess, or not quite how terrible, but we know that they were terrible. They tell us themselves that they were terrible. Now the sons of Mosiah were numbered among the unbelievers, and one of the sons of Alma were numbered among them, he being called Alma after his father. Nevertheless, wasn't it one of the sons of Alma called Ben or something like that instead of Alma, so that we don't have to do Alma the elder and Alma the younger? But no, it had to be Alma the younger. So I don't know, it's just something that popped into my head, so I thought I'd say it. Nevertheless, he became a very wicked and idolatrous man, and he was a man of many words, which did speak much flattery to the people. Therefore he led many of the people to do after the manner of his iniquities. He became a great hindrance to the prosperity of the Church of God, sealing away the hearts of the people, causing much dissension among the people, giving a chance for the enemy of God to exercise his power over them. Interesting, he's really subversively doing this. And it came to pass that while he was going about to destroy the church, for he did go about secretly with the sons of Mosiah, seeking to destroy the church and lead astray the people of the Lord. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, and they still don't say exactly what they're doing. But they were doing things that were deliberately to destroy the church. And they're doing it contrary to the commandments of God or even the king. So the king has said you shouldn't be persecuting the saints, and so you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm not sure what they were doing. If it was like a mob or something like that, they would meet secretly and decide who they were going to target and go after him, or what. But it wasn't very good. And as I said unto you, as they were going about rebelling against God, behold, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto them, and he descended as it were in a cloud, and he spake as it were with a voice of thunder, which caused the earth to shake upon which they stood. And so great was their astonishment, they fell to the earth, and understood not the words which he spake unto them. And that's interesting. So all of the sons of Mosiah fell to the earth, and understood not the words which he spake unto them. Nevertheless, he cried again, saying, so they didn't understand the first words, but he repeats it, I guess, or says, Alma, arise and stand forth. And I find that funny, because he's probably saying, come on, try to arise, see what happens. For why persecutest thou the church? I wonder if Alma did stand at that time, but we'll find out later. He doesn't have really the ability to stand. For why persecutest thou the church? For the Lord said, this is my church, I will establish it, and nothing shall overthrow it save the transgression of my people. And again the angel said, behold, the Lord hath heard the prayers of his people, and also the prayers of his servant Alma, who is thy father, for he has prayed much, with much faith, concerning thee, that thou mightest be brought to the knowledge of the truth. Therefore, for this purpose I have come to convince thee of the power and authority of God, and the prayers of his servants might be answered according to their faith. And now behold, can ye dispute the power of God? Behold, doth not my voice shake the earth? And can ye not behold me before you? And I am sent from God. Wow. He's letting him know. And now I say unto thee, go and remember the captivity of thy fathers in the land of Helam, and the land of Nephi, and remember how great the things he hath done unto them, for they were in bondage, and he has delivered them. And now I say unto thee, go thy way, and seek to destroy the church no more, that their prayers may be answered, even if thou wilt thyself be cast off. Now, interesting, if you look here, and behold, after that they were, this is in Alma, this is Alma the younger speaking, to people about 20 years later. And I'm just going to go right to the second verse here, where he says, have you sufficiently retained in remembrance his mercy and long-suffering towards them, which he's talking about these people that he just said to remember, and moreover have ye sufficiently retained in remembrance that he has delivered their souls from hell. He is following what the angel told him to do, was remember those things. And now it came to pass that these were the last words which the angel spake unto Alma, and he departed. And now Alma and those that were with him fell again to the earth. So he did rise, but he falls again to the earth, for great were their astonishment, for their own eyes had beheld the angel of the Lord, and his voice was as thunder, which shook the earth. And they knew that there was nothing save the power of God that could shake the earth and cause it to tremble, as though it would part asunder. Now the astonishment of Alma was so great, he became dumb, that he could not open his mouth. Yea, he became weak, even that he could not move his hands. Therefore he was taken by those that were with him, and carried helpless, even until he was laid before his father. He wasn't unconscious. He just couldn't speak or move. And they rehearsed unto his father all that had happened to them, and his father rejoiced and knew that it was the power of God. And we're going to leave on this kind of a cliffhanger. Alma the younger is incapacitated, cannot move, and his father just found out what had happened. What's going to happen next? Well, actually, you could just read on if you want to, but we're going to stop right there, and we are going to carry on tomorrow to find out what happens to Alma after he'd seen an angel. And there's so much in here that could be unpacked, but I think I hope you felt the power that came from this, because we're going to talk about it later. There's other times that Alma talks about it himself, and we get more information from those times, and I don't think it's our place here to do that. There's many other people that do that, and you can watch them. But today, I hope you have a nice day, and we will see you tomorrow and see Alma tomorrow.